Hello, welcome to Thehayteamtv. Adam's rolling out, he's just gone. I got to let my air pump up because I've got a leak in the trailer. All spotlights are on. I never thought about that before. Anyway, the dogs, and I got to the chickens, then get straight back in the trailer and then getting on my delivery too. Chickens are done. I'm rolling out in about 20 minutes after Anna. If you haven't done so, please hit subscribe, give us a thumbs up, that'd be most appreciated. And I'm sure we'll check in a bit. Back to our deliveries. Now I'm looking at you, but I'm also looking just above you to the screen for my reversing camera. Because looking backwards is hell. The sun is coming straight in. So that is where the camera is a beautiful bit of kit. So if there's a mirror behind and I'd use mirror, I'd still be looking at the light, so then I won't be able to see. And this would quite honestly do your head in. And you have to go to that thing that you've got to jump out and check where you are. But it's not, so trailer's on. As you see, little lane right there, go on my shoulder, follow me. We'll get haylage down because we baled lots of hay and lots of straw. And now it's that time to get back to haylage. So hopefully you can hear this well. Whilst we're travelling off to the farm, I have been scratching my head and pondering how to approach a subject. A subject I haven't touched on yet. Obviously, apart from, you know, mainstream media, there are farming protests all, not just over Europe, over the world. There's protests in India, Canada, South Africa, Poland, Lithuania, Spain, Germany, Holland, obviously the French because they do it so well. And they, you know, they love a good kick-off. Belgium, Norway, Denmark, and you know, I'm definitely not getting them all right now. There's 100% some that I'm missing, and there's talks about a protest going to London, and is everyone going to go? Because it's something that kind of unity is unity, and it kind of needs all of us. And there's just a few. It's not going to look the same, is it? Now, firstly, a question to all of you that are watching: do you like the way the French and the Germans and the Europeans protest, or do you prefer that the fact that, like the Welsh, do it a bit more peaceful? What do you think gets the better result? Do you think anything can come from it? Leave a comment below. It'd be interesting to see everyone's thoughts. Obviously, I'm only just looking into this sort of stuff at the moment. This video, I'm going to put in a lot of questions to you guys, so you sort of write me messages, and I can think of how everyone else is thinking. But I'm going to explain my way of thinking, and then you guys watching, you can sort of make an account for different arguments and discussions that you want. Now, first thing for me is, does there need to be change? And I personally think there needs to be huge change in agriculture. Just, it's not in a great place, right? Now, we all find it hard. We all got different things. I know someone on here going to go, oh, it's alright for you, you've got some new tractors. Some days I'm so fed at work that I just wish I was somewhere else. You know, and it happens to us all. Like, you can just be so pissed off about stuff. Now, where I'm getting at with this is, it doesn't matter, like, there is an iceberg effect, right? Everyone sees what's on top and no one sees what's underneath, what's had to be done to get wherever anyone's got, to achieve what anyone else has achieved. There's a load of it there, you know, and our story started about 7 years before I started doing, or Adam and I started doing YouTube. So there's 7 years of stuff that went on, and unfortunately that would have been the more interesting stuff for you guys on YouTube to watch. What you really saw is more of the outcome of our first 10-year plan. Now you're starting to get stuff on our second 10-year plan, and there's quite a bit of stuff coming. So in this next bit, I know the answer to the why, right? I'll get to that in a minute. But it annoys the crap out of me, and what annoys the crap out of me is how in the UK and loads of places around the world, it's not just us, that farmers can't make money. Right? Who would have thought farmers couldn't make money by supplying food? Right? The second most important thing in life other than water. Right? Who would have thought farmers would be scraping the pissing barrel quite often trying to get by? Yeah? Who'd have thought that? Producing food. The second thing that everyone needs. And the why is obviously because government's made a global pissing market. So it's cheaper to get food produced in a low economic country which can produce it cheaper, because everything there is cheaper, labour is cheaper, and then they get to ship that around the world to where they want. That, unfortunately, is the answer. Like, has anyone out there got an idea on how to stop that? How to change things? As our agriculture, do we all need to move to a said country to grow food and then send it back to the UK? You know, I've thought about that one a few times, because obviously everyone knows us for producing hay. We obviously used to have 600 head of bull beef in sheds in a rearing system, intensive rearing system, that is. I'm not going to hide nothing from you guys. And it didn't work. We couldn't make money for growing food for people. And that is a sad thing to say. And you could say we failed at it because we had to change. And that's why we're on the story that we're on. But don't get me wrong, I deeply actually miss going down with feeder wagon, feeding cattle. I miss lambing sheep. I know I've got to help my sister this year and her other half lambing their sheep. I've got that to do, or they've asked me for their help, or my help, which is good because I used to enjoy lambing. I really did. I used to enjoy calving cows. I used to enjoy feeding cattle, like lots of cattle. Used to enjoy moving them from fields if they're out grazing. Used to one of my favourite things, I'm sure some of you out there do it still, like you go out with your granddad, your dad, and you move a flock of sheep down the road. Like, we always taught them to follow a bag, and then the dog would work in the back. And then there'd be someone with a Land Rover at the back, and there'd be 2 or 3 at the front, and you shut off different junctions, and someone keeps walking forward, and they will follow the shepherd. It's just what sheep do. And it's a sad it's a sad event that none of that worked, and in order for me to come home, we had to change, because quite frankly, there was no money in it to pay me. So, and if we hadn't have changed, there wouldn't have been a HRS here, or any of my other mates that came to work for us in different stages. So we had to. But it's stupid that we had to, because as I get back to the other thing, again, how does food not pay? know, people spend a fortune in mobile phones. Bloody women will spend a fortune on handbags. All this use, okay, it's got uses, but it doesn't promote life. So I think the world is in a bit of a broken state, and it's embarrassing to see that mainstream media just are not showing anything that is going on really around the world. So if there's any of you on like watching Thehayteamtv here that isn't from ag and you haven't actually seen any of these protests, and I'm sure you all have because we're all on social media now, like just go have a look, because there are stories being told by different farmers, and for me it is quite heartbreaking to see, because for me I see where we were and we had to change, and we changed back then, and it still kills me to this day that we're not producing food for animals, or for humans, and we're producing food for animals when we should be producing food for humans. But that's where we are now. So again, any of you watching my little rant conversation here, let me know in the comments of how you feel about stuff. Do you think a protest is going to get UK agriculture anywhere, or does something more drastic need to be done? Do we need to change, as it were, the rules of how things are done? Which there's always a way. There's always a way. You've got to find a way, but there's always a way. But my words, we are 4 years behind where the Welsh are, and the Welsh are getting told that they need to plant 10% of their farmland under trees, and this really pisses me off. So the government thing after World War II gave us the farm subsidy. The farm subsidy basically handcuffs the farmers to basically do its bidding. Didn't used to be. It used to be for helping us produce cheap food, or take the cost away from the consumer at the supermarket, when knowing that, I'm sure you guys in New Zealand, if anyone's watching this, let me know in the comments below, you had your subsidies revoked. So now it is honest price from the farmer straight to consumer, without that subsidy interaction in the middle, which we all talk about subsidies that we need it, but it also does do my head in that if you think of it like this, the consumer pays their tax to get passed back to the farmer for cheaper food, so why not just get rid of the tax to the consumer and the subsidy, and then have a better connection between farmer and consumer? Wouldn't that be logical, right? And we'd have less paperwork to do. But I'm sure some of you will argue me on that and tell me I'm wrong. That's just my personal opinion. Now, I dislike subsidies in this day and age. I don't think, I know why loads of farmers need them, so don't think I think they need to be stripped away and stuff like that and put people in problems. That's not what I'm getting at. I do think subsidies would be better off going. I think that's a better sentence from it. Because then farmers could just work at a straight price to the consumer without always thinking back on that, oh, I've got the subsidy payment coming in. It would be a more straightforward way, rather than all these schemes and, you know, stewardship schemes, they just fell off. Instead of all these stewardship schemes and all these things that we've got to do to better the environment, which I think climate control is a load of crap, but that's my personal opinion. But again, I'm digressing. If you look at it like this, you take away subsidies, farmers get paid honestly, and this can't be done in like a click of a finger. I personally don't know where to start the whole thing. But as long as farmers are paid subsidies and different schemes, you are handcuffed to do whatever the government or Natural England or group want you to do, and there is nothing you can do about it. You get rid of that, you suddenly got freedom. You don't have to play by their rules. That's what I'm trying to get at. Because in a minute, this is the real interesting one, because this even applies to us. If anyone out there thinks none of this applies to you, it applies to all of us. We're literally in this together. If we've all got to suddenly plant 10% of our land into trees, that's 10% of our land that isn't paying anymore, unless you can work that into something clever, different farming methods and techniques. But in order to get a payment from a government or a scheme, you're going to lose 10% of your operating land, your working area, so you're not gaining. You're getting money to plant a tree, and that's it. And then that's dead wood, right? Literally afterwards. Don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know if you're allowed to graze around that. But you are literally cutting off a section of your farm for a payment, and then you might not be able to utilise it again. That pisses me off, and I'm very one for I do not like being told what to do. So if we get a Labour government, anyone watching this in the UK, rest of the UK other than Wales, do not even remotely think that this is not coming if a Labour government comes in, right? Because it will. So everything you see the Welsh going through, with honestly 2 to 4 years behind it, unless something drastically happens. And I mean drastically happens. So I'm going to leave this rant here now. I was going to film other stuff in this video, but it seems to all have gone not quite right today. So I'm going to leave this video like it is. If you haven't yet done so, please hit the subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, it's appreciated. But what I'd be even more appreciative of is, from this video, you leave a comment below on anything that I've said and spoken about, and give your input, and then I might do a video back on this, talking some of the points that you guys bring up, if that's right. If you want to find any more of us, you can find us on Facebook, Snapchat and Twitter. Until next time, see you next one. Cheers.